can kick it in.
Perfect. Let's do it. So hi, everybody, and welcome to our product webinar. I am Sharka, and I will be your host today. Thank you for joining us in our live demo session. Today, we will introduce you to our new campaign functionality in CloudTalk Desktop Phone App. I'm here today with Jan Pustaj, Regional Sales Director, and he will guide you from basics that you are already familiar with to the new campaign functionality. Hi, Janči. I'm delighted to have you
Hey,
here.
everybody. Happy to be here.
The main goal of this session is to introduce you to the new Power Dialer and share with you helpful tips on how you can level up your productivity in your call center with this updated feature. So before we officially kick off, I will say a few organizational things before starting officially. So first of all, this session is aimed for admins and supervisors to show you how your agents can sell faster and smarter. Second, just to let you know, this webinar will be recorded and you will receive the recording as well. So you will be able to rewatch it anytime you need to refresh the knowledge. And last thing that I want to say in the beginning, if you have any questions during the session, please submit them into Q&A section on the bottom of the Zoom, and we will answer all of your questions at the end of this webinar. So that was a long introduction, but now let's start. So as you might already heard, calling campaigns have arrived on our desktop phone app. So everything an agent needs is now available in a CloudTalk desktop phone app. As I mentioned, my colleague Janči will guide you through basics you are already familiar with. He will start with setting up a Power Dialer campaign in a dashboard. Then he will showcase new Power Dialer in a desktop app available for your agents. And in the end, he will also look into something you are also familiar with, and that's analyzing campaign data. So as you are already aware, sales dialer they are speeding up sales processes. Therefore, for a couple of past months, our product team was focused on improving our Power Dialer and making it even more effective. Now we will look into what this product update means for supervisors, admins on one side, and what for agents on the other side, and how to leverage this product update. So Janči, finally, it is your time to shine.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sharka. Hello, everybody. So as Sharka mentioned, we will start today basically from the beginning. So I'll show you how to use the Power Dialer, how to set it up. And then we will also talk about this change that we recently released. So basically now the agents can use the Power Dialer directly from the application. So this is something we will take a look into. So let me share my screen here and start. Here we go. Sharka, can you please confirm that you can see my screen?
I can confirm I see everything.
That's perfect. All right, so we will be talking about how to set up the Power Dialer in the beginning. So all of this is done by the admins, by the sales ops, by your managers, and this is something that the agent don't have the access to. This is something that is being done from our CloudTalk dashboard, which is located at my.cloudtalk.io. So once you log in with your account under this URL, under the dialer, you have the campaigns and call script and service. So we will go through all of that today. But first, what you need to do when you are starting to create a campaign is to have the right contact list in CloudTalk. So there's a couple of ways how to do it, how to get the contacts into the CloudTalk. The most simple one is to do a CSV upload. So if I go, for example, into the integration part, here we have the option for the CSV import. So you just click on that. You will download this template, which looks like this. And in this template, you fill out all the information you have about your contacts. So it means mostly the phone number and the email, but also any other information you have about the customer can be put here. You can create custom fields, and all of that will be then reflected in CloudTalk. So once you have your list compiled, you easily just go here. You choose the file that you want to upload. Let's say this one. You choose the default country code. So the best way how to format the file is that if you have all the phone numbers in the sheet in the international format, it means with the prefix at the beginning +1 or plus 34 for example, Spain, +1 for United States, just in the international format. If you don't have it, then you just call one country, for example, to every phone number that doesn't have any country code, we will assign this one default that you set up here. So you do this, and then you have the contacts tag. Now, this is very important because based on these tags, you are able to assign these contacts then to the campaigns. So for example, for this one, you can set up test, you hit save and start. I'll do just test 2, for example. You can hit save and start, and then basically the import will start running, and you will see how the contacts are being imported. I already did import before, so we can skip. We can now move to the next part, and then it's creating the campaigns and scripts and service. So these are the 3 things that are being done basically together, right? So the service and call scripts are in the end ultimately the part of the campaigns. So call script and service, what they are used for, right? Here I have for example, like a test script. This is a free text, so you can put here any text that you want. You can use, bold, italics, ordered list, all of these. And this is basically to help your agent to navigate through the call, right? So some short guidelines that will be visible during the call for the agent. I will be showing that in a second. So you can basically upload it anytime you want directly here. So the call script, you can have more call scripts, but always only one can be assigned to the campaign. But you can change these scripts in the time. You can have more templates created and assigned to the different campaigns. One script can be used for more campaigns, so all of this is possible. The second part, which can be shown during the call, is the survey. So this survey works in a way that, let me just show you. You can basically write down here some questions that you would like to ask, and you can note here the answers. So there are different type of questions that you can ask. First, you have here the question content. So basically, for example, in our case, are you currently using some VoIP software, right? So you just write it down here, and then you choose the type of the questions. It can be short text, long text, checkbox, radio option, select. So I created one for each type of the question, and when we will be doing the campaign, you will see how it is then shown for the agent, how they can write down these answers to these questions, and in the very end, we will also review how you can then collect the answers. So you can basically add more questions here with more options. There is no limitation, so feel free to add more. And then it goes the same thing as for the scripts. You can use basically one survey for more campaigns. One campaign can only have one script assigned to it, but you can change it also in the time. So these are the 3 things which basically you have to do before starting the campaign. And now basically you can start and create your own campaign. So I have some campaigns here for the testing created. So let's take a look, for example, for this one. So I will just go into the edit campaign. So this is how it looks like when you start to add the campaign, right? So there are some basic settings that you can do. I will just walk you very quickly through them. So we have, first of all, here the name. This is pretty obvious. It is important because also agents see it when they are choosing the campaign. We have then campaign status. You can turn it on and off. So if you want to pause some of the campaign, or you want to schedule it just later on in a couple of days and so on, you can also prepare it in this way. Now the important field that I was talking about before is this select contact by tags. So here you choose which contacts should be called during this campaign. So in this campaign, every contact that has a test tag will be assigned to the campaign. Next, you have basically options about follow-up. So how many attempts there should be between the attempts. If the customer is not picked up, basically we will try 3 times 18 hours between each attempt. So you can set up this. how long should the person wait? How long should the system wait until the call is answered? So after 45 seconds, for example, automatically moves to the next call. You can turn on and off the recording for this. Call script and service are assigned here. You can also assign the phone number that should be used for this campaign. And in the end, you have the groups and agents that are going to call from this campaign. So here you can assign who is going to be involved in this campaign. So pretty straightforward and easy. You can set up the campaign, the whole thing, in just a couple of minutes. You can upload new contacts daily, and if they have the right tag, they will be automatically assigned to the active campaign. So for example, if I have the running campaign with a test tag, and I upload tomorrow new contacts, which also have a test tag, automatically it will be assigned to the campaign. So this is why this field is very, very important. During the call, the agents have these positions, which basically are used to navigate through the campaign and to tell if the call went good, if you want to call back, call again later this customer, if basically this is a conversion, if you just want to reschedule the call. So these buttons can be adjusted also here. So you have different type of buttons with different types, and based on these, then we also calculate some metrics and statistics, reports. I will be showing that in a second too. So all of these can be customized, and once you finish that, basically just hit the save button, and now the agent can start making the calls. So let's move to the next part, which is making the calls. And here I will be talking a bit about the change that recently was released. So basically this update. So far, until basically very recently, in order to use Power Dialer, you had to, the agents had to be logged to the dashboard. So it means to the web interface, but also to the application. So they had to do, they had to use these both windows. So the user experience was not that great. So this is what we wanted to improve and what we improved. And now agents don't have to log into the dashboard at all. Everything stays in the application, right? So the whole point of this is basically our long-term goal for the agents to have everything in the application, not having to log into the dashboard, and basically have it in a more user-friendly way, so they can be effective, they can be focused, and focus just on the things that matter. And yeah, so this is how it looks like now. If you open your desktop application and you go into the more, here we have two dialers, so Smart and Power Dialer. If I choose the Power Dialer, here I have those two campaigns that I am currently assigned to, right? So these are those two that I have created here. The agents can see them here, and they can choose which one of these they want to start calling. They see some information about the contacts. So for example, here I see that I have 10 remaining contacts, one contact that should be repeated. So I already called, but want to call again. And here we have a bit less, right? So it gives indication like how many contacts stays in the campaign. So how it looks like for the agents now. They very easily just click on the green button and hit start next call. So I'm being connected now with Bridget, for example. I will just hang up the call for now. And here we have the screen, how it looks like. So during the call, there is a call script that we have set up, right? They can scroll through it like this, so it can be a longer script. And you also have here this survey. So in this survey, are you currently using VoIP software, for example? You can write down here, yes. All these questions can be answered here. How we use it, for example, internally, we use it with our SDRs to book demo calls, right? So they do these power sessions when they are really focused on the calling. They do the follow-ups, and it helps them to get their focus to the calling. Managers upload the contacts. They just log in. They hit the dial button, and they go one after another. So the whole point of this is to improve the effectivity of the agents, make it easy for them. So they can really focus on the content of the call and not be bothered by the tool they are using. So they have everything in one screen. They are saving time, and yeah, the whole thing is just more user friendly now, because as I said, you don't have to switch between two screens. You just use the one, and yeah, that's it. So you imagine that you are on the call, you are going through the script, you are asking the questions, you are writing down here the answers, how happy you are with the current phone solution, not very much, for example. Can we subscribe you for our newsletter? Yes. So there's checkboxes, there are long answers, shorter answers, and in the end also select buttons. So for example, what would you use? What would you prefer to use, both software via desktop or mobile app? For example, you ask, we choose mobile app. So once the call is finished, what is important to give one of these outcomes, which we were mentioning before. So for example, let's say that I booked a demo with this guy, he's super happy. I wrote down all the questions, all the answers, right? And I booked the demo. So now I can basically move to the next call. I hit the done button, I start the next call. I'm now being reached to Layla, for example. What is super nice also here, that if you have the integration and the contacts are also integrated with some CRM, you can click on the profile of the person and it will open up the profile of the person in the respective CRM, right? So any other information that is not visible here, you can easily just open up in the HubSpot or Zoho, Salesforce, whatever you are using, just with those buttons that were there. And again, you go through the call, you mark down your answers. Let's say that this one we didn't reach, right? There was just a ringing, but nobody answered. So I want to try again later this one. I would just mark it with this, and in 18 hours, basically it will be put back to the queue, so I can call it again. It will be automatically put to the front of the queue, so I call them at the right time, and I can just hit done and move again to the next call. So just like that, very easily, you go from one to another. During the call, you have all the options of a classic telephony. So if you want to mute, if you want to put the customer, for example, on hold, mute, use also in-app tags and notes. This can be also done, but yeah, and these will be also reflected in the integrations in the end. So one more button that is important is this reschedule. So for example, let's say that you are on a call with the customer, they tell you that, right, this is a very good topic I would like to discuss, but at the moment I'm doing something, so I cannot focus on it. So please just give me a call back tomorrow at 2 p.m. right? So I will just reschedule for tomorrow for 2 p.m. So that's 2 p.m. I will write a no. I was interested, should call later, or any other type of note that would indicate you what happened on the last call. You just hit the reschedule button and you can move to the next call. Tomorrow, when you are going through your session at 2 p.m., this call will be pushed to the front of the queue and it will be called on time. So again, hit the done button and you again move to the next call. So basically, for the agents, what is the goal, right? The goal is to be easy to use, to be user friendly, to improve their effectivity on the call, to help them make more calls, and basically to save them time. This is what CloudTalk is all about in the end. Yeah, so and like this, they can go through the calls. I will just show you now. Basically, let's say I booked also this one. Now I want to take a break. I want to do something else, so I'll just hit stop calling, and I'm back in my classic dialer, right? If I want to then return to the campaign, I will just go here into Power Dialer, and I see that I already I have only 6 remaining now, right? 1 scheduled, 2 for 2 to be repeated call. Yeah, so I always see what is left there. I wanted to say any questions, but I then remembered that we are writing them down, so let's answer them in the end.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so basically there was the campaigns, how to set them up, how to use them, and now the last part which I will be talking about is how to then do the reporting. So let's take a look back into campaigns. The agents, they have just this very simple view on how many contacts are remaining there, so they know what is ahead of them. And the managers and the admins then have the option. Let me just go to the previous one. Here I have a bit more. They have the option to see all the stats and go through that. So what do we have here? You go back into the campaign detail. So you can click, for example, on this one. And here we have a couple of things. So first, show statistics, right? These are the campaign statistics. So here you see total conversions, a lot of metrics that are here. Each one of them is explained with these hints, right? So you know how they are calculated. What I easily see is that I had 11 contacts in this campaign. I converted 3, so I had 3 positive calls with a positive outcome. So it means whatever is your use case, you book a demo, you confirmed booking for your for a recommendation, you sold something to the customer, and so on. So my conversion rate in this case is 33%. Dropped percentage is 0, so it means no calls were taken out. So here is more granular reporting on that, on each tag, how they were used, these positions, and a bunch of other calls that are also here on this screen, where you can still see, for example, how many contacts were, how many remaining contacts you have, how many fresh contacts you have, and so on. So you can, for example, easily see here, if you are running out of the fresh contacts, it means that the agents are just circling in those that they already called. So it's a good time when you then upload maybe a next batch for them, so they have still fresh contacts that they can call. You still see how many scheduled calls, how many repeated calls there should be, and of course there is always a call log. So you see all the calls that are being here. If you would be doing the recording, I have it turned off for this campaign, but also the recordings would be here. You can always download this report. Also, basically this call history log, you can download it here. So then you can put it in the Excel and do any other reporting that you would like. So these are basically per campaign. You can filter also by time, right? So you can just check today performance, yesterday, last 7 days, or you just do custom range and you choose exactly the time that you want to see. So this is first time of report that we have here. And if I go back to campaign now, you might be wondering, where are all those survey answers, right? Where do we keep them? So we are not hiding them. They are right here under this tab. So here you see a bit of a different information. So this is again more like an enriched call log, where you can see the call results. So I can easily just, for example, you want to do your research, you want to listen to the call, only those that basically were, let's say, with the tag sale. So I see one call, you can then review it, and you can look for the patterns, you know, what went good on these calls, what you can replicate. Here would be a recording for this campaign, it was turned off. Right, so this allows you to exactly see what you need. And also here in the detail, you are able to see these survey answers. So for each call, there is a possible way where you can see these survey answers and see each customer what they basically replied. So this again gives you some information. If the call is positive, you can find some patterns in the survey answer. So maybe it's positive because they answer to a question if they have issues with their current VoIP solution. Yes, right. So most likely, if they have some issues at the moment, they are looking for some other solution. So it's easier for you then to basically sell to them. So you want to look for more companies like that. Again, all of these can be also exported to Excel sheet. So all of these can be downloaded. As I mentioned, filtered by the result, by the agent who was making the call, and also by the timestamp when the call was done. So this is also the reporting, how to see if your campaigns are successful or not. I would just quickly jump here. This really view tells you very quickly on the conversion, so you can easily compare the conversion rates of different campaigns that you are doing, and then just take a look into those and dig a bit deeper into the data of those who which has the highest conversion rate, right? Yeah, so that would be on the reporting. One last thing which I wanted to mention regarding these campaigns is that we also have the API integration, open API, right? Which is here we have the documentation. You can also do a bunch of things and edit these campaigns through the APIs. So we have customers who are really automating a lot of these things. So they are really like editing, removing the campaigns directly through the API, so they don't have to do it manually. They have automation set up. We will be more than happy to discuss it further with you in the future if you would like to have this set up. And also, for example, all the data that we are collecting through our feature workflow automations, we can also share this into your Power BI tool or any other database or reporting tool that you are using. So through the API, we can share the information about these calls, and then you can build your own reports around that. You can include it into your reporting that you already have. And yeah, this is also the option. So the API integration and the open API in CloudTalk allows you to do all of that. So you can have it exactly the way that you want. And let me think if I forget about something, but I think that would be pretty much it from my side. So I will be more than happy to answer any questions that we have there. Maybe Sharka, just tell me if I forgot something, but I think
You covered everything, literally everything.
Okay.
So thank you very much for that. Let's go into Q&A. First, we have a recommendation here for the product. Sarah said it would be also great if you could clone a campaign and then make edits to the new campaigns. Is it possible?
I'm looking into these Q&As and
okay, I start like with
clone. I see clone a campaign and then make edits to the new campaign. I see. There's a great suggestion. Yeah. At the moment, as far as I know, this is not possible to do, to clone the campaign, but it's definitely something we're looking into. So we will be gathering all of these recommendations and definitely sending it to our product team. So hello to our product team, and we will be getting a bunch of feedback for you. But yeah, this is definitely a useful thing. In the end, like to set up the campaign, as I was showing, it doesn't take that much time, but I agree that every second that you can save on, setting up these things is useful. So yeah, thank you for the feedback.
Also, another recommendation from Sarah, it would be great if scripts could also have a different colors. So again, like we are collecting all your feedbacks and we would submit them to product team.
Yeah. On this, for the previous one, I clearly understand the use case, and with this one, like different colors, to be honest, I would be, Sarah, if you are okay with it, or if you are still here. I think she's not anymore, or yeah, I would just like to understand a bit better, like what would you like to solve with these colors? What is the use case exactly? Yeah, given that the agency only one script, yeah, I'm really not sure like what should be the use case. So Sarah, feel free to send us an email maybe with this one, and we can discuss it. We can discuss it further. Let me just quickly see in the call scripts if we can also style. You can use like a different styles. It's not really like changing the color, but if you see only one script, if it's for example, highlighting some things, you can use the bolds or italics. So maybe that would do the trick. Yeah, so hopefully some of this will help. If not, feel free to take this offline.
Definitely. Then a question from Steven. Can you power dialer through a Salesforce list view?
Through a Salesforce list view. So the power dialer is located directly in the application. You need to have the standalone application for that. So at the moment, it doesn't work with the CTIs in Salesforce and HubSpot and others. If you want to go through the Salesforce list view, So I'm not sure if I'm getting this right, but if you have like a list of contact in the Salesforce, basically you need to export them from the Salesforce at the moment and put them in the CloudTalk to create this campaign. And if you want to have just a list, for example, in the Salesforce for the agents to call, and you don't want to do Power Dialer session, then it can be done through Smart Dialer, because then we have the click to call extension, which can scrape down the whole page, see the phone numbers, and put it in the Smart Dialer. For the Power Dialer, what is important is to assign this tag to these contacts. So either through CSV upload or also through the API, this can be done. So yeah, we just need to reflect from Salesforce to CloudTalk this view that you have this list. I hope that answered your question.
Perfect. Then we had questions about recordings. So yeah, this webinar is recorded and you will receive it tomorrow in a follow-up email. So if there is any issue that you didn't get a recording, just get back to us. So we will look into that. But the recording would be sent to you. Then we have a question from Joshua. Is there a predictive dialer? If so, can an agent use the predictive dialer, then transfer the call to another agent and go back to dialer while the transfer call is still running with the other agent?
Okay, so we are getting to some edge cases now. I like it. So let me think about it a bit. There is a predictive dialer. At the moment, it is not in the desktop application yet, so it would have to be done through the dashboard. The agents would have to then basically have the older setup. If can agent use the predictive dialer, transfer the call to another agent, and go back to the dialer while the transfer call is still running with the other agent? I believe this should be possible. Yeah, I don't see a reason why not, because when you transfer the call, basically you are no longer active in the call, and you can take another call that is being dialed through the predictive dialer. So yeah, this should be fine.
Perfect. And last question from David. He says, hi, can we inject the campaign in CloudTalk directly from a pipe drive?
Hello, David. Thank you for joining the webinar. And to answer your questions, so for the Power Dialer, we are still looking in a bunch of improvements, and this basically should be, and is definitely one of the things we are looking into, how to make it easier, basically to inject, as you say, the campaign from different CRMs. So I know that our product team is looking into some ways how to do that. There is basically at the moment you have to like export and re-import into the CloudTalk, or use API integration, or use one of tools like Zapier or Integromat to automate it. So whenever you, for example, assign a tag in your pipe drive, it should be reflected back into the CloudTalk. So yeah, definitely something on our radar. So thank you very much for that question. At the moment, probably the easiest way is through the export and import, as I mentioned, but maybe it's also worth looking into this automation through the Zapier, because we did it a couple of times. It was working. So if you need more info on that, also don't hesitate to contact us also offline.
Perfect. And this was actually our last question. So no, lovely. We covered them all. Anybody else have any questions, or we just ran out of all questions for today? Seems
Don't worry, speak up.
Don't worry. That's why we are running this demo session. So you have also possibility to raise your questions, which is also important for us to understand your use cases. Okay, we have no
very thorough, so all the questions are answered. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it was a perfect demo on your side, very clear, very straight to the point. So
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Outstanding
question.
I
hope it was useful for everybody who joined. And yeah, if, as I said, if there are any more questions, feel free to also like contact us offline, you know, through the chat, call us, call your customer success manager or our support. We will be happy to help with the setup.
Thank you very much on my side as well for joining, for your questions, and we wish you an amazing evening.
Have a nice day, everybody. See ya.
Bye.